The Neon Lie, How I Uncovered My Husband's Double Life. My name is Elise, and I used to think I had the perfect life. A penthouse in Manhattan, a wardrobe of designer dresses, and a husband, Marcus, who was the golden boy of Wall Street. A CEO whose charm could light up a boardroom and whose smile made me feel like the luckiest woman alive. We were planning our vow renewal, a decade of marriage celebrated with roses and promises. But while I was picking out lace for our ceremony, the FBI was picking the locks on our life. Turns out Marcus wasn't just running a tech empire. He was the kingpin of a strip club empire, laundering millions through sequins and lies. This is my story, and if you're watching this on my channel, Betrayed and Unbroken, you know I'm here to spill the tea and share how I took back my power. It started with a lipstick-stained note. I was cleaning out our safe, organizing papers for our anniversary trip to Paris, when I found it. A bundle of cash wrapped in a napkin, with red lipstick smudged across it. The words, "For the King, Fantasy Palace," scrawled in loopy handwriting. My stomach churned. Marcus didn't go to places like that. He was at galas, not gentlemen's clubs. But the safe held more, dozens of bundles, each with a note, some with glitter, others with perfume that wasn't mine. I sat on the floor of our walk-in closet, surrounded by money that screamed secrets, my heart pounding like it knew something I didn't. Marcus was at a late meeting that night, as he often was. I'd never questioned his long hours. CEOs worked hard, right? But the napkin burned a hole in my mind. I Googled Fantasy Palace, expecting nothing, hoping it was a misunderstanding. Instead, I found a neon-lit website for a high-end club in Brooklyn, promising unforgettable nights. My hands shook as I dialed Marcus's phone. Voicemail. I texted, "Where are you?" No reply. By midnight, I was in a cab, the napkin clutched in my fist, heading to the address listed online. The Fantasy Palace was a fortress of black glass and pulsing lights, the kind of place you'd miss if you weren't looking for it. I walked in, my heels clicking on the marble floor, feeling like an intruder in my own life. The air smelled of bourbon and ambition. A hostess with a dazzling smile asked if I had a reservation. "I'm here for Marcus," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. Her smile faltered, and she led me to a velvet-curtained VIP section. There he was, my husband, in a tailored suit, laughing with a group of men in a booth littered with champagne bottles. A dancer in a silver dress leaned close, whispering something that made him grin. I froze, my vows, in sickness and in health for better or worse, choking me. He didn't see me until I was steps away, the napkin crumpled in my hand. "Elise," he said, his face draining of color. The dancer slipped away, but not before I caught the glint of cash in her hand. "What is this?" I held up the napkin, my voice cutting through the music. The men at the table shifted, their eyes darting to Marcus. He stood, all charm and control, guiding me to a quiet corner. "It's not what you think," he said, his voice smooth as ever. "I invest in businesses, Elise. This is one of them. It's just complicated." "Complicated?" I hissed. "Lipstick notes in our safe? Cash smelling like perfume? Explain that, Marcus." He stammered, his excuses unraveling. Something about passive investments, tax strategies. But I wasn't buying it. I'd spent 10 years trusting his words, but now I saw the cracks in his facade. "I'm done with lies," I said, walking out, my heart a mix of rage and grief. Back home, I tore through his office, desperate for answers. In a locked drawer, key conveniently lost, until I pried it open with a screwdriver, I found ledgers. Not for his tech company, but for Fantasy Palace and 2 other clubs. Numbers danced across the pages. Deposits, payouts, names of dancers, and cryptic codes. My high school friend, a forensic accountant, helped me decode them over coffee the next day. "Elise," she said, her eyes wide, "this is money laundering. Millions. Through the clubs." I felt like I'd been slapped. Marcus wasn't just cheating with dancers. He was running an empire built on deception, using his CEO persona as a mask. I thought of our life. The penthouse, the vacations, the diamond earrings he'd given me last Christmas. Was it all funded by this? I spent days piecing it together, hacking into his emails. Don't judge. Betrayal changes you. I found messages to a man named Vinny discussing cleaning the cash and keeping the girls quiet. My husband wasn't just a cheater, he was a criminal. I could have confronted him then, but I wanted him to feel the weight of his lies. I planned my exit like a general plotting a siege. I copied the ledgers, sent them to my lawyer, and contacted an FBI tip line. Anonymous, of course. If Marcus thought he could play me, he was about to learn who he'd married. The night of our vow renewal was supposed to be his triumph, a public display of our perfect marriage. Instead, it became his downfall. The venue was stunning. Chandeliers, roses, a string quartet playing our song. I wore a white gown, not for him, but for me, a symbol of the life I was reclaiming. Marcus stood at the altar smiling like he'd won the world. Guests filled the room, unaware of the storm brewing. As I walked down the aisle, my heart was steady, my plan in motion. Before we could exchange vows, the doors burst open. FBI agents stormed in, badges flashing, voices sharp. Marcus Langley, you're under arrest for money laundering and racketeering. The room gasped. Marcus's face crumpled, his charm replaced by panic. Elise, what did you do? He whispered as they cuffed him. I leaned close, my voice ice. I shut down your lies, Marcus. Your neon sign said Fantasy Palace, but your vows said forever. I believed one, you broke the other. The fallout was chaos. News outlets splashed our story across headlines. CEO by day, strip club kingpin by night. My phone buzzed with messages. Friends shocked, family horrified, strangers fascinated. I moved out of the penthouse, sold the earrings, and started this channel to share my story and others like it. Betrayed and Unbroken isn't just about exposing cheaters. It's about finding strength in the ashes of betrayal. I learned Marcus had been running the clubs for years, using dancers to funnel dirty money through fake transactions. The girls weren't just employees. Some were coerced, others complicit, all part of his empire. The FBI seized his assets, and I walked away with what little was clean. The hardest part wasn't losing the money or the man. It was losing the version of myself who believed in him. Now I'm rebuilding. My channel's grown. Hundreds of you share your stories, and together we're healing. I don't know if I'll ever trust love again, but I trust myself. The starlit compass in my heart points to freedom, not fantasy. To every woman watching, know this: when the truth burns, let it light your way.